Hello everyone, welcome to my MMA diary, entry number 18. In this MMA diary, we are going to be previewing the Overeem-Arlovski card from Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Also, going to cover some sad news with a Bellator fighter named Jordan Parsons. Michael Chandler and Josh Thomson's off. We'll talk about that for a little bit. There's an Invicta card this Saturday, and we're going to go over some news and notes, as well as some fight announcements and the fight of the week, which features Josh Thomson. Okay, so this weekend, the Overeem-Arlovski versus Alistair Overeem card. Ariel Helwani says this is a great card. I don't agree with him. But that's just because I don't recognize a lot of the names. So, if a big-time MMA journalist, I'd probably take his word over mine. But as a casual to semi-serious MMA fan, it's not the most exciting. I don't know much about either of these women. So I'm going to pick Kowalski because I think she has some hype behind her. And then for women's fights, I almost always do it by decision. Unless it's like Ronda Rousey or something. And then I'm just going to go with Ramadeen because I have no idea who the other one is. So there you go. That's 2 down. Now, Gunnar versus Albert Tumanov. It's a really good fight, and I'm going with Tumanov. Like, that dude's a killer. Oh man, people are saying that Gunnar Nelson's going to win by KO, TKO. Yikes. If anything, he'd win by submission or decision, but... Okay, I'm pretty sure there's no way Albert Tumanov is going to win by submission. Pretty positive. I don't know about Gunnar's chin. I don't think I've ever seen him get knocked out. I know Rick Story beat him. I know that he lost to Damian Maia big time in a jiu-jitsu grappling match. And he beat Brandon Thatch by submission. Albert Tumanov's a killer. But I think I'm going to go TKO round 1. Tumanov's really good. Bigfoot Silva versus Stefan Struve. I was pretty positive I was going to go with Bigfoot Silva, but then I heard Struve on Anakin Florian podcast, and I don't know, something about his confidence has got me thinking that he might stand a chance, but you know what, I'm just going to go with Bigfoot. It'll probably be a knockout, but I'll go round 2 just to be different. But I would not be surprised if Struve won. Like, both these guys are low-level heavyweights ever since Silva got off the TRT. And then Overeem versus Overeem-Arlovski, which is... Wait, Alistair Overeem versus Overeem-Arlovski. I think I said Andre Overeem. That'd be a cool name. You see, there's a bit of a backstory behind this fight. Overeem-Arlovski and Alistair Overeem have been training at the same gym now, Jackson Winklejohns in Albuquerque. Overeem sort of always bounced around, and Andre's been there for a while now. And Jackson and Wolf cornering Arlovski instead of Overeem for this fight because Arlovski's been around longer. So the coaches sort of know everything about Overeem, and supposedly they've never really sparred before, these two guys, so you gotta think that Arlovski has the right game plan to go and get him. But I think Arlovski's a good deal older. I'm not positive about that. I know he's been around in the UFC for longer, that's for sure. Alistair Overeem has a lot of tread on his tires, or has not a lot of tread left on his tires. He's been around a long time. But my gut says Overeem. I don't know. You see, with heavyweights, it's usually a quick knockout. We'll just do it this way because I got to be somewhere in a little bit. So we'll do this play bonus here quick, and then we'll let the CPU do its thing. And to doing my thing today. Going catfishing today. That's right, catfishing with chicken livers on the Trempealeau River in Wisconsin. It's pretty fun. Weird. So I picked. There's only a couple prelims that really got me interested. Oh man, I think Chris Wade was supposed to fight Nick Hine, but Nick Hine got injured 4 days out, and he got replaced by some guy from Alpha Male, some young 4-0 or 9-0 prospect. That's pretty interesting, but not a lot of the prelims really. Except for Kyuji Horiguchi versus Neil Seary, which is the featured prelim on Fight Pass, or the featured Fight Pass bout. And I'm going with Horiguchi there. But that's a fun fight. That's a good flyweight bout. I'm really excited for that. And then one of my favorite guys, Willie Gates, is also on Fight Pass. I don't know, that guy's just hilarious. Yeah, all in all, I didn't. And it's on Mother's Day. It's on Sunday, May 8th, 2016, which is a bummer because that's also Mother's Day here in the States. So. Oh yeah, I guess Alistair's not that much younger.
He will have a 3-inch reach advantage. And once again, here's Bruce Buffer.
Yeah, so it's gonna be in the morning too because they're playing this at in the Netherlands there. So they're gonna try and accommodate the home crowd. So it's a morning show for us here in the States, and unfortunately, my parents like to do stuff early, so I'm going to be gone all morning. So we're going to test out the DVR features on my PlayStation Vue subscription. See if that really can capture live events properly. I'm going to be pretty ticked if it doesn't. Because I don't really, like I said, I just don't like missing fights. And I don't like watching stuff when it's not live. Like, you sort of miss the point if you're not watching it live, you know? Get out of here.
Oh, big left. Oh, he's going for it here. Oh, head kick. Oh, that's a heavy body kick. Joe, that's a
but yeah, so I'll watch it, and I'll get back to you guys next weekend about what happened, and also we previewing that awesome 198. So many weeks, so many months. But in other news, in Bellator's side here, we'll start with the real bad news, the real unfortunate news that Jordan Parsons, a Bellator fighter, he trained out of. Wow. He trained out of Black Zillions, I think. He got in an accident in Miami, Florida, I do believe, and was in a coma and had his right leg amputated, and unfortunately he ended up dying on Wednesday, May 4th. So yeah, that's pretty, that's pretty scary, pretty sad that such a promising young man had to die by a coward, hit and run. Like, people who hit a person and then just flee the scene are the biggest coward pieces of trash in the world. I believe it was a silver Range Rover, and it had damage to his right side, and they said they caught it on video. So yeah, if you live in, I think it's Dade County, Florida, and you see anything like that, you know, give the police a call, because that driver, kid to die. He hit him and he left him. Pretty sad. Yeah, you know, it's hard to transition from something like that, you know, where you're talking about just fun stuff, and then you talk about something like that that's super sad, and then now you got to talk about other fun stuff. But you know, R.I.P. Jordan Parsons. Okay, so Josh Thomson, man, it's such a, you just feel gross transitioning from something like that. So it's Josh Thompson's out of his fight with Michael Chandler with an injury. That's a major bummer. I was really looking forward to that King Mo Phil Davis card with Josh Thomson and Michael Chandler as an excellent co-headliner. So yeah, I don't think they found Michael Chandler a replacement either. So not looking good for Michael Chandler to get paid that night. I'm sure he'll get paid, but you know, not his win money that I'm sure that he wanted. Okay, there's also an Invicta card this weekend, Invicta 17, including former Tough and UFC fighter Angela Hill fighting for the strawweights, I think, title. And Tanya Evinger is also fighting. So if you have Fight Pass, give that a look on Saturday night. If you have nothing else planned, I will be at a wedding, so I'm like no MMA for me this weekend, which is a bummer. Just a little news and note here. I was like, is this the CPU or is this me? Yeah, it's me, so whatever. So a little news and note here. Shai Lewis Perry, if you remember him, he had an incident with John Jones and his brothers with DC a while back. Like, oh man, what was that? It was like a press conference, an early press conference or something. But yeah, he trains with DC. He spars with him. He's out of his Glory kickboxing match, Glory 30 fight, because of a sparring injury with DC. And you know what? I blame AKA. That gym seems to be cursed to hell. Like, Luke Rockhold was complaining about an injury when he won the title. Don't even get me started on Cain Velasquez. DC got injured. Habib's been a mess. I don't think that's his permanent gym, but I know he trains there. It's just very unfortunate that gym has such a notorious record of injuries. Okay, now my favorite part of the show every week is that we go over the fight announcements. It's a round 2 knockout, that's right. Struve is, his nickname's the best, Skyscraper. Ooh, shit. Fight announcements this week. We got some fun ones, some really fun ones. Gilbert Melendez versus Edson Barbosa, UFC on Fox 20. That's in Chicago, which I will be going to, hopefully. I went to last year's Chicago card, and it was a lot of fun, even though it was that bantamweight title match between Dillashaw and Barao 2, which turned out to be pretty one-sided. But man, I was so excited. I was hoping Barao could get it done, because Barao was one of my favorites back in when he was going through the bantamweight division like nuts.
Back to his feet, and he connects with the punch.
Oof. Man, Bigfoot Silva looks straight up small next to this guy. And then also last year there was Miesha Tate versus Jessica Ai and Paul Felder versus Edson Barbosa. That was so much fun. Anyways, ooh shit, he's owning me. Edson Barbosa versus Gilbert Melendez. Gilbert Melendez coming off his suspension following that Mexico fight against Eddie Alvarez where he got popped for steroids. Oof. Edson Barbosa, you know, after that Showtime Pettis win, you thought he would have got a better a higher ranked opponent or something, but Gilbert Melendez is no slouch, so we'll see how he goes back to see if he's got enough to stop the freight train that is Edson Barbosa right now. That's a fun fight. Also on that UFC Fox card is supposedly they did announce Glover Teixeira versus Glover Teixeira. I keep saying Glover. Oh my goodness.
Looking for the armbar. Can he finish this fight?
Shoot.
Almost had the armbar. Passes, moves into half guard. Good transition. He's looking to take the back.
Glover Teixeira versus Rumble Johnson, which is a hell of a light heavyweight fight. Like, that's a really good fight. They're both like strikers, you know. It should be a lot of fun. I don't know if either has the chin to really sustain getting knocked around with those kind of bombs, but it'll be fun while it lasts, that's for sure. All right. Then the main event, supposedly for that card, is going to be Holly Holm versus Valentina Shevchenko. So beat, I think it was Sarah Kaufman, or was it McMahon? I always get those confused. She beat her in her UFC debut, and she only had like a little bit of notice, like very short notice fight that she took, and she beat her pretty handily. Holly Holm should probably beat her, but only real impressive performance came against Ronda Rousey, and that, I don't know if that was just her rising to the occasion or just a bad style matchup for Rousey or what, but she really beat the shit out of her there. But Shevchenko is a striker too, and I think she's more well-rounded than Holly, so should be interesting to see what happens there. Good Lord. Oh my God. See, I told you Struve is no joke.
He's in big trouble. Looking for the finish. That choke was tight. He got free. Wow. Full guard here. There he goes. Stand up.
God, I gotta get out of here quick. So yeah, Holm versus Shevchenko, Rumble versus Glover, and God damn it, he's so big, and you think I'd just be able to close the reach on him or close the distance on him real quick, but he's so high up, so far away. God damn it. And Edson Barbosa versus Gilbert Melendez round out a pretty solid really hoping I can go to. Fuck. I really need to get him. Get him. Yes. Got him. Okay, also, another fight announcement. TJ Dillashaw versus Rafael Assunção at 200. Not announced yet, but widely assumed to be happening. Really fun bantamweight fight. That's a great undercard fight on 200. That 200 card's looking better and better every day. Also, news and note, Paige Van Zant out of UFC 200 plans, which is really, really a bummer. I thought that they were going to put her on there and she was going to be a super big star from Dancing with the Stars. But yeah, TJ Dillashaw versus Rafael Assunção, that's the #1 contenders fight right there. Pretty fun fight. Another fight announcement here. Robbie Lawler versus Tyron Woodley at 201 in Atlanta. Not announced, not official, but that's the speculation. Good for Robbie, finally getting a fight. Hopefully he'll be able to headline that 201 card and get some pay-per-view points, even though it's probably not going to draw too much unless they stack the undercard. Put that CM Punk on there, give Robbie a big payday. He was in the blueprint for a GSP or a Conor McGregor fight, but that never came to be. Tyron Woodley, he got his way. He put his foot down and said, I ain't going to fight unless I'm guaranteed a title shot. They gave him his title shot. Now he's fighting. Hopefully, I haven't never really seen Tyron Woodley fight that I can remember. So this will be interesting. I'll have to go back and watch his previous performances to see where he's at exactly. So there you have it. Also, one more fight in South Dakota, UFC South Dakota, Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chiesa. Hell yes, I'm all in on that fight. I will go to South Dakota if that's the headliner. Louis Smolka, one of my favorites, is also on that South Dakota card. Awesome. Okay. My fight of the week this week for you guys to go and check out. Go and find it on UFC Fight Pass. Nate Diaz versus Josh Thomson, April 20th, 2013, UFC on Fox 7, which was an amazing card. I looked over the card. That was it was stacked. It was top to bottom an awesome card. Yeah, it was in San Jose, California as well, which is Josh Thompson's hometown, I do believe. A really fun fight. At least a couple head kicks, some really big ones. Diaz has some of his funny taunts. And spoiler alert, if you don't want to know how it ends, stop listening right now and I'll catch you next week. But for those who do want to know how it ends, it was the first and only time Nate Diaz was finished. I'm not sure if he was ever submitted, but it was definitely the first ever TKO. And I think it's still the only time he was TKO'd. So there you have it. Nate Diaz, April 20th, 2013, UFC on Fox 7 from San Jose, California. Go check that out and enjoy the fight. So, that's it. That's this week's episode. I gotta go meet my dad and we're gonna go catch some fish. So, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.